was like, let me just go ahead and get this message out. This might be the only one today, possibly. I don't know. We'll see what Spirit has to say and how this stuff gonna play out. How it's gonna play out today. Make sure we don't run into any issues. Now, in a situation is on here. I can't change nobody. What's the name of that girl? Layla, something like that. And that song Flyer Than You, which I put in the community post. But this is also allowed me to know that it's people could be from like old areas, old neighborhoods, people that you grew up with, grew around. For somebody, for me, it's just people I probably grew around with. It was only like select few people that I would even just be around at a particular time. And the major thing about the situation, about the message is the fact of the matter, you can't change somebody. You can't cause nobody to do something that they don't want to do. It is not for anyone to persuade them to think of anything in a particular way. Somebody could also be asking like, why something keeps changing and they don't know why. Like somebody was like, but mine don't look like theirs, and it's like, yeah, it's not going to. But the major part about this situation, and I feel like it's right now, is more people triggered by this situation than they are of grasping the concept of what's being said. Um, because I'm hearing you might want to be careful about those sidebars. You might want to be careful about those subgroups. Because sometimes those subgroups are about you too. Also, someone, feeling as if they're getting, their chance to get back on something or get their lick back or something like that. The initials A, G, I, R, and L are very prevalent. So Alpha, Golf, India, Romeo, Lima. Those initials, first, middle, or last name. And it's just like someone could be literally having to just look at a situation a lot differently, but however, it's everything is free will, everything is choice. However, reflection, you're going to be forced to be in reflection whether you want to or not. And especially when it's coming to, if I'm going to be of the dark, am I going to be of the light? Is it going to be, wrong? Is it right? So something was like the stuff that I was writing, someone wanted to be like, what are you talking about, right? So this was one of the writings. So apparently they didn't want me to go ahead and post the last writing that I had on here, which is it's there. So someone could be upset with the fact of, I'm gonna pull it back up and screen, because somebody's like, there's no way, which I have zero problem, it's gonna be up one way or another, because somebody be like, I can't allow them to put that post up there because it's gonna make me feel some type of way. And basically, someone feels so triggered when you have a connection with children, right? And this is the reason being why most women don't get that, like, oh, he my man, we gonna be a family and all this other stuff. You gotta be very mindful when you're dealing with particular people, and it's like, oh, I don't believe into that stuff. Okay, you ain't gotta believe it, but you gonna believe it whenever somebody talking about the sins and secrets that you done held since 1982, 93, 2002, and currently this shit is all about you and you're feeling triggered, right? It's very frivolous, right? So someone could be, having ties to the church or political or whatever. And whoever this is, I personally don't have a tie to those particular people, but I know exactly who I'm talking to. And somebody could be taking something that is meant for the people who I know I'm talking to directly to. And if they're not catching that, that's on them. But it's somebody else in the midst of this situation that feel like that, oh, the connection is about them. And it's like, I wouldn't even fucking piss at you or throw anything in the fucking wind to make this feel like, oh, it's my grandkids and stuff. Like, bro, it's not even fucking about you. You're a weird bitch. Let it go. Like, like somebody could feel like it's that. And it's like, somebody's name is Yvette. Yvette, Yvonne, Levette, or Levitt, Levette, or Lamont or something like that. And whoever they are, okay, so Levitt must be a person that is working with the feds, okay? Love or Levette or Lavetta or, Marietta, okay, Claxton. Okay, so whoever this person is, I don't really care for their existence, honestly. But whoever this is definitely a fucking female that could be feeling like, oh, this is for me, or this is like we used to be friends. It's like if you're doing this shit for Veronica, you're sad. If you're doing this for James, you're sad. If you're doing this for Shaquetta, I don't even know why that bitch even feel like she got a chance to be in my energy. Like the sadness. Sheila, Carla, or anybody like that. Somebody's name could be Jeanette, Janessa, Lillian, Liliana, or some shit like that. Tyson, Tyron, or something like that. Whoever these people are, that they feel that they got some type of way in this situation, and it's like, no. But the biggest part of it, somebody could also be like Dominican. We got black people in here. We got somebody that's Indian or whatever. But whatever the situation is, someone could be feeling like, oh, we could play ventriloquist with the energy, but it's like, no. Let me make something very, very clear. This is one reason why when people would try to portray this type of behavior of like, I will have my kids around anything. James Henry Taylor V did not meet my children. Like, I met him 2010. His first time seeing my fucking kids was like at the end of 2012 after I came back from Afghanistan. But even then, it was very brief. And then, even then, I had to make sure that when he met my children, it was other people amongst my home before that man could ever fucking meet my children. The other biggest part of it was I'm like a firm believer I won't ever allow people to babysit my children. So my children have only been around a very select few of people. Now, whoever this Virgo person is, and this person working hand in hand with this federal person whose birthday is on the 19th, and then somebody was born in 1970, that feels like, oh, they're targeting me, they're doing this. You got to have some type of proof, sir, ma'am, or it, they, or them, that you and I are close or something like that, or that we actually have some type of friendship. And even then, if you're going to try to say you have a friendship, you're not a friend if you're betraying them. You're not a friend if you're talking bad about them. You're not a friend if you're looking to set them up. You are not that person's friend. You are a person looking for a benefit to do something to them. Someone needs to know that. But once a person's, verbally speaks, which is an art of manifestation of having ties to particular children, right? And it's like, this is a joy. I'll watch them, I'll keep them, and they make sure that that child is safe, comfortable, they eat, they play, they have a conversation and stuff like that. And they be like, oh, I like this one. I really enjoy this child. You have literally opened up a portal to your energy field, your auric field, your thoughts, depending on what capacity those abilities that child carry. And more often than not, most people don't even know what capacity that their children carry, because they'll be like, oh, my kid wouldn't ever do anything like that. Are you sure? Everyone has a light and dark side. So regardless of how it goes, you should know your light and dark side, and then the person who you procreated with, if you experience more of that person's dark side than you have of their light side, and then those children do something bad, more often than not, psychology, scientifically, I mean, shit, you don't got to get a fucking Scientologist to go ahead and do that. You don't have to get a numerologist to go ahead and do that. But you'll sure get a person that swear up and down that they're a Christian to be sitting like they're talking about something when they're really just blowing up nothing. Because most Christians these days, they're more of the bigger fucking criminals that there is out here in the world today. And when you decide to do that, it's going to allow you to see more often than not, because somebody feel like they're stopping something and you're not. I'm going to get the message out one way or another. I love a challenge. And because for me to know that I've already screenshotted this, and like the capacity, which I feel you two will be able to go ahead and work something out in that situation. Um, you will open up yourself to know what it is. More or less, these are people that struggle to accept, like, no, they're just jealous because I have friends. You sure you have friends? Or are you a beneficial at this point? What happens when the benefits go away? But however, most often than not, people don't pay attention to the people around them. Did they lose somebody recently? Is their health acting up? Are they having inflammation? Are they flaring up? Is it that have they dealt with, certain body or joint injuries and they're struggling with my back is hurting a lot more, my knees is hurting a lot more, my feet, my hands hurt. Dang, you feel like my blood pressure going up and down. Ever notice that when certain people come into the room or certain conversations come up, but then it's like you got to realize, like, damn, when I went to go see my doctor, was your blood pressure still up when you went to go see that doctor? Did it ever go down before you left? Hey, that doctor actually have a particular vendetta against you, whether you know it or not. Did at any given time in your life, did you ever have to deal with a jail experience? Have you ever dealt with, feds? Were you ever out here in those streets like that before? More often than not, people don't pay attention to that stuff. Because I literally have been dropping gems where somebody is literally that has been around me, been around my energy, my children, or some sort. This is one of those, somebody could have been heavy out there in the streets. And when you get out heavy out there in the streets, this is one of those. If you smart, you know you don't ever go out here and you fuck with no hoe. A hoe is for a good time, not a long time. And the reason being, you don't ever fuck with nobody that's a streetwalker or in them strip clubs. Why? Because they only there for the dollar. Give them a dollar, they gonna holler, right? But also, when they get on them drugs, you know what's up. But also, when you in them streets, if that person decide to go ahead and go fed, you already know that's your head. Because if they want to sit there and do that, they willing to try to get ahead. But it's like, why would you want to go do that with all the shit that we used to do back in the day, right? And someone may have thought a person was telling them about when somebody experienced a car crash. I'm gonna tell you how it is, and this is how somebody gonna know, like, oh, this shit ain't it. But you can sit there and call me all kind of bees and whatever the case may be, but you gonna remember exactly what I'm saying. Don't ever call anything fake if I could sit there and tell you what was your fate. Do you want to meet your fate or do you want to meet destiny? Because somebody's fate is really sitting there staring them right in the motherfucking eye. And it's like you sitting here, you wanted those people right there. Because I see death around the corner. I tend to have what it is where we can sit there and look at fate, or we can go ahead and maneuver this situation where everybody can get out of this situation safe, right? Safety is everything. Somebody, whoever, have this ties with military veterans and stuff like that, Iveta, Candelaria, Saldivar or something like that, Salzar or some shit. Ignacio. That name is very prevalent. But whoever this is, right? And they're going back to try to say this person's name and they're doing this. I highly suggest that you might stop. You might want to stop doing that. Don't make that. Somebody, if you're planning to go ahead and make a false cop report, I wouldn't do that. Because see, one thing for sure, two things for certain. Don't you have to always be fucking careful about certain people that you bring into that situation, especially if you paid. Because more often than not, because I ain't got them type of problems. I ain't the ones out here being in these streets. Somebody could be a mental health tech or work under a mental health clinic. Someone could be a veteran. Somebody could have been in the cavalry. Somebody could have been an artillery unit. Somebody could have also been in, these are ground units in the military, okay? So this could also be National Guard, Coast Guard, okay? Active guard, okay? That means they're guard but active duty. So military, so working for the government. So they got government jobs or they work DOD, okay? So that means the Department of Children and Family, Agriculture, um, Highway Patrol, Police Department it'll be Sheriff Department because those are other people, and those things. But however, someone is not paying attention. Somebody could play the piano, and then they could work for they at the church they play the piano, but they work either for the governor or around the governor or something like that, and then they keep trying to. Somebody's name is Yvette or Lynette or some shit like that. Whoever's name, a Y, I, or an E. Yankee, Echo, India. Okay, somebody's name like that. Whoever's initials, man or woman, that works with that, and they made a foul, like, I'm hearing something, they said something foul as shit. But this is also where I made a very clear, and it's a prophecy. Be mindful of who you get into a situation with, because today you could be the lawyer and the judge covering up for a cop that's going to be willing to go ahead and give you up once the DA, internal affairs, and the feds come in and saying, hey, you going to take the charge for XYZ. Well, Judge such and such did this for me, and they told me that I didn't have to. Well, how do you know this judge? Well, because we all go to the same church. Now your church under investigation. Oh, but that's my lawyer. They had helped me with immigration because my family came over from Colombia, or my family came from Haiti, or my family came from Africa, or whatever the case may be. Oh, is that okay? So what caused you to go ahead and cover up the crime for the money laundering and then the stalking? And then what caused you to go ahead? Why were you working with Hawkins and Dawkins and them? What is your connection with them? Somebody's getting questioned on the back end. Like I said, sometimes those active groups got subgroups, and sometimes those subgroups be about you. And those people too, did somebody go ahead and involve some dangerous street gangs? Somebody been working with some street gangs, okay, military, this church or whatever, and they decided to go get these old street gangs involved. Unbeknownst to these people that got these street gangs peoples involved, somebody on my old pueblo, my old town and shit like that, something about Old Town. Old Town is Kissimmee. That's Osceola County, okay? Osceola County, they were going to be on the lockdown a long time ago. They've been on lockdown and been on watch since 2017, whether they knew that or not. Because something about 2012, 2015, and this year was the reason being why, whether they knew it or not, CID been in the building for a cool minute. And the reason why, 2001 situation that they did, 2001 to 2003, something that they did with a church, somebody's name could be Reed or Reeves or Reese, okay? Byron or something like that. Somebody also try to label someone as a tyrant. I'm also getting, why would they label this person as a tyrant? Secret sidebar conversations whether these people knew that this was happening or not. But it's also, somebody's not paying attention to why somebody was like, you ever notice when you start getting those phone calls and people be like, yeah, yeah, I hear you, yeah. I mean, that's okay if you get hit with, that's okay if that's something that you feel is going to be, useful for this situation, go ahead and do what you do. If you fall for that, just know that you already fell for the trap. Meaning if you get the person, they're not giving you the idea, but you're the one that's coming up with the idea, and you hit the people who are in federal or in a government position, and they hit you with that, yeah, no problem. Yeah, go ahead, go along with that. Meaning that person already got their plea of what it is that they can take out of that situation. So you coming up with that and them hearing you, whether you know that this person is either video calling you or talking to the phone, you got pre-recorded. Because meaning they already recording that situation for the feds. Meaning they covering their ass. So regardless of what you feel like you're going to do, I'm getting somebody said, well, I didn't tell you to do that. I said, if that's something okay for you that you feel is okay for you to do, then do what it is that you're going to do. Keyword and keywords to allow you to know that I'm not taking responsibility for whatever it is that you're about to decide to do. So meaning when it's time for us to go back into this, that person is basically alarming you to tell you, hey, the feds is actually watching us. And if you don't ever catch on to them saying that, it's like, oh, okay. We got a person's birthday who's in September, March, and April. And when they sit there and said this, and it's like, oh, have you know, somebody could have asked, like, are they still recording that? Are they still hacking that person's internet and stuff like that? Like, hell yeah, we're still gonna hack their internet. Hell yeah, we're gonna still do that. Oh, okay, that's good. And then somebody got hit with, that's good. Yeah, you know, keep going along with that. The longer you keep going that more that that person can get off on the back end on the part that they did play in it. So it allows that whoever they're calling, especially if you get calls, maybe